It is Monday, everyone. Welcome into the News 10 Plus Digital Desk. I am Taylor, and this is Nicole Buchmann.
Yes, hello. Happy Monday.
Yeah.
Yes,
a cold Monday.
It's a chilly Monday, but you know what? Everyone's like, I want fall. Fall is here. The weather is here, so enjoy it.
Yes, please, because I wouldn't mind the warmth again.
Yeah, exactly.
I turned on my heater already.
Oh, see, I've been trying to avoid that. I'm like, I'll put the 4 sweatshirts on before I put the heat on. But whatever. It's okay. To each their own.
The nice cool air at night feels good, but yeah, otherwise I wake up freezing and I'm like, it's just tough getting ready for work when you're that cold.
No,
I'm like
I know.
shivering the whole time.
I woke up this morning and I'm like, why am I so cold? Like, normally in the winter I'm nice and warm, but that's because I haven't put like my other sheets on, like the flannels or whatever.
Nice.
So I put that on my list. But what you can put on your list today is a great Studio 10 show. We are going to be kicking it off with Claudia. Claudia always finds like those great stories in the community. So there's this really cool art exhibit that's happening in downtown East Lansing. So we're going to be talking a little bit about how you can see that. The artists, I don't want to give too much away, so you want to tune in for that. And it's nice to give them artists a platform. They work so hard. Yeah. They're so talented. So it's good to showcase them here on Studio 10. And also, I know we both said happy Monday, but for other people it might be like, it's Monday.
Well, yeah, I know. I was trying to start it off with good energy, but I definitely woke up.
Sometimes you're like, it's Monday. So we have our fabulous Regina. She is a very enthusiastic, but also a great motivator. And we're starting, this will be like the actual second time she comes in.
Okay.
We're calling it Motivational Monday. So she is coming in, telling us a little bit about how we can get motivated, even starting with our posture. She says posture can play a big part in, play a big part in how motivated you are for the day. And so she'll kind of be breaking that down, especially too when it comes to technique. So I don't know about you, but sometimes you're like waiting in line and you're on your phone, you're like this, and your neck is like this, and then you're scrunched all day long. And then that puts you in this little mood where you're like all hunched over. So
you sometimes look up and you're like, ow, my neck, like that hurts.
No, I'm doing that right now.
Let's stretch it out a bit.
So she'll go into that, and I'm excited to hear from her about how posture plays a key part. Plus, you're also going to want to make your way downtown to East Lansing, because they have the official grand opening of Pita Way.
Oh,
yes.
Right.
So a very kind of delicious, flavorful Mediterranean styled food, but kind of like more faster, like more fast. I don't necessarily call it fast food, but you get it faster than you would normally. So
lunch spot. There we go.
Yeah, exactly. So they have official grand opening tomorrow. And they're kind of stretching out their grand opening to 2 days. So there's 2 full days of buy one, get one free. And we're talking to an employee who 1 year ago was a dishwasher. And now he's a manager because they have this program.
It's a Monday. There we go. Program.
They have a program called PETA to Partnership.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, it kind of is like a way that people can, get on this manager way and have these opportunities because they believe in their career. So it's a great story.
Yeah, move your way up.
Yeah, exactly. I used to wash dishes in class or college, like in the dish room. It was awful. So I'm glad.
Did you have the nice mitts on at least to keep your hands, prevent them from getting dry?
You had mitts on. You had aprons on. I had to be the one. There's like, how you would like toss your tray on like that moving conveyor belt. Yeah. I was on the other side.
Nicole's like grabbing all
hurry. The food, making sure that the utensils don't get stuck. Anyway, always move up. So I'll be good talking to him. Plus, we are doing our adventures with Andy. Oh yeah. We got a clear view of apple picking season because we went to Clearview Orchards in Hazlitt.
That's nice. So
Can you tell that we did it and we had fun? We can put all these little puns in. But yeah, it's good because like they have certain kinds of apples that aren't really grown anywhere else in the state. So I guess a lot of people flock to them, and there are a lot of apples that you can use that are good for applesauce, and he breaks down what's good for applesauce, but good for pies and that sort of thing. So.
See, I think about, like, there's some, like, Red Delicious, right? It says Red Delicious in the name. I personally don't like those. But it's interesting to see how, like, different kinds of apples, you're right, like, this one's for apple pie, this one's for applesauce, this one maybe just purely for eating.
Yep.
So, it's really cool to see how And I don't even know how many different types of apples there are. Do you know from doing this?
We went over about 6 of them, give or take. But like I said, the ones that we went over are a lot more unique. Mm-hmm. But it helps because he was like, Macintosh is good for applesauce. I was like, okay, it kind of rhymes.
Yeah, I like that. That's good.
But then he's like, well, the Jonathan Gold or Jonna Gold or something like that is also good for applesauce. And so I'm like, okay, hold on, I gotta take notes. But yeah, it'll be a lot of fun, and we're excited to dive in.
All right, we're excited to dive into that too. I want to learn about the Motivation Monday that you've got going on and learn. I know, now I'm like straighten those shoulders out. Taylor, come on, better yourself. And yeah, learn about all of the apples. I still have to go to an apple orchard actually. So I know, there we go. And I'll actually tune into Studio 10 coming up at 3:00.
Yes, there you go.
To learn more. Thank you, Nicole. And speaking with all of the fall talk over here, I don't know if you woke up this morning and found possibly frost out on your car. So we'll be talking to Justin in just a second about those fall-like temperatures and if we're going to get any more 80 degrees, which I don't think we will. But yes, if you want to check out more Studio 10 content, of course, they're coming up at 3:00 today in 50 minutes. And then you can go check them out on YouTube, Andy's Adventures, and see all the fun they had at the apple orchard and all the other fall things you can get into. It's going to go fast. It's going to go very, very fast this season. I feel like it's already flying by. But those temperatures are just now kicking in.
I know, hard to believe 5 days ago we had 80-degree temperatures still around the area. We're a long ways from that. We have been now for a couple of days. Clouds have settled in, the cooler air, and it's going to be tough to get out of it at this point. We're going to have at least another probably 10 days minimum where we deal with numbers in the 50s. So
how about rain? Because it was a very rainy weekend.
Yeah, I got some showers here and there. It wasn't a total washout, but we had plenty of opportunities for rain. We're going to have a lot more of those this week as well. Today and Wednesday, I think, are the days that stay dry. And so if you're looking for a day to kind of enjoy the cooler temperatures but not have to carry an umbrella with you, today and Wednesday are going to be your days. Wednesday, I got 57 as the high. It's the warmest in the 10-day forecast.
Okay, make the most of it then.
Yeah, so that's what we got to do. We are going to run below normal probably for at least the next 2 weeks. We'll see what the end of October brings. We know the pattern just as fast as it can flip from 80s to this. What we're seeing now, it can flip back to maybe not 80s, but 60s and maybe even 70s. So we'll keep an eye on it, but in the meantime, it's going to be a little bit of a stretch to get through. Lots of clouds, a little bit of rain, and some wind, too, by the end of the week.
Yeah, and I was feeling some of that wind over the weekend and just a tiny little bit today, but more so those cold temperatures. And that wind doesn't help with all of the temperatures.
It doesn't. And our numbers most of the time are going to be spent in the 40s. The highs are going to be low 50s most of the next few days. And when you're shy of 50 degrees, you can start adding a wind chill in. And that's what these breezes will do over the next few days. We've had a lot of lake effect showers, too, around the Great Lakes. No snow yet, but there have been lake effect rains that have been ongoing. And eventually we know what will follow. And hopefully not for a little while for most of us, but I know some folks are already looking forward to the cool weather, probably at least getting it in their head a little bit.
Yeah, no, I'm like mentally preparing, so I think these like 50-degree temperatures, waking up with frost on the car, it's definitely mentally hitting me. Like, okay, Taylor.
Yeah.
Winter is coming. Get ready for it.
And you know what? If we like steady into it, it's not too bad. But I think it's like you just said. We had 4 80-degree days last week. One of them 85 is where we topped out at. And now we're having frost, like just a couple days later. And so it's just the way things can go in October.
It's fine. But let's throw it outside because, like you said, you're seeing some of the skies and you're also seeing those clouds.
Yeah, they're rolling right in. We had lots of sun this morning, and you're still seeing a few peaks now. But clouds have kind of settled into the area. The temperatures, though, haven't really warmed up much. We're still at 51, and at times that wind is blowing 20 miles per hour. Dew points are in the low 30s. That just means it's a very dry wind, a dry air blowing in. And because it's in the 50s, you notice not really a wind chill factoring in. Still feels like 51, although the breeze certainly doesn't help out there when you're going outside. So the lows this morning, we woke up to 30s, and really these numbers were even cooler on Sunday morning to wake up. We had lots of 36s and 37s, so just a hair warmer this morning, and I think tonight these numbers will be similar. Most of us will be close to 40 degrees, and so probably avoid frost tonight, especially with the cloud cover as well. And we've made it back to the low 50s today. Marshall at 54, the warm spot for now. I think 53 is in our sights this afternoon, maybe 55 in a few lucky spots like Marshall, where you see is already 1 degree away, but it's going to be tough to shake these cooler temperatures. Winds right now anywhere from 10 to 20 miles per hour. They're out of the west, northwest, and you can see that cool air bubble off to the north. It's only 41 in Marquette, and They did see a few snow showers fly in the UP over the weekend. They didn't have anything stick, but they did have a little bit work in, and we'll see some of that in a moment on satellite and radar. Now, temperatures hour by hour here, they're going to skate down through the 50s before bottoming out in the low 40s. We kind of cool off quickly, but then the clouds kind of thicken up, and we don't really go too much further after that. However, satellite and radar has remained relatively quiet. A few showers down towards Kalamazoo. You see a couple working towards Marshall over there, portions of Berry County seeing a little bit of rain, but outside of that, most of the system is off to the north. It's a large system, and you notice that north of the lakes, there are a few returns showing some snowflakes flying up that direction. Now, because of where we're at this time of year, the lakes are still relatively warm compared to the air, and so that's big. And so that kind of acts as a shield, moderates temperatures. So we really have to have a brutal cold snap for it to get cold enough with moisture present to get anything resembling snow. Now, I know we get cold enough for frost, but that's with very dry air. It's what you would have the same thing with a clear night that leads to dew, but it's cold enough for it to start freezing close to dawn. So this setup kind of works in our favor this time of year, at least. It does the opposite in the spring, of course, where when warm air tries to come in, the lakes are still cold in March, April, May, and so we end up staying cooler than the surrounding areas. But in the fall, it actually kind of helps us out. And so we'll be protected from snow, though I can't say the same about rain late in the week. The hour by hour is going to kind of take us through what we expect. Again, 53, 54 maybe this afternoon. You see a few of those spots popping up. Overnight, the clouds will thicken up. We'll get down back into the 40s. And then as we head into Tuesday afternoon, I think it's going to be really tough to warm up. Most of us will top out around 50. You see there's a lot of rain north in the state.
That's when you want the umbrella.
Yeah, a little bit of that might scoot down towards us tomorrow afternoon. It's going to be kind of a close call. If you're in Jackson and points south, you might stay dry. But Charlotte, Mason's kind of going to be the borderline of seeing a few of those showers. We head back up eventually into the evening and round out the rest of the rain. We'll start in the mid-40s on Wednesday morning, and I think even though we lose the numbers here, it'll be kind of another mixed day of sun and clouds. Wednesday's the warmest day of the week, too. We get into the middle and some upper 50s, but I think everyone's still falling shy of 60 degrees, and you'll see that in the 10-day here. Again, Tuesday's the coldest day I've got. Yeah, a lot of that coming up, and so that's a little too far out right now for our kind of in-depth hour-by-hour forecast. But the Thursday through Sunday time frame looks like the best chance to get wet this week. If we don't get a few of the showers late Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and really even Monday. I've got that as cloudy next week because I think we're going to start to erode the pattern. But this is going to be a very slow-moving system. It's not going to have any severe weather. It's not going to have any really heavy rainfall, but it is going to have a little bit of wind, and I think Friday in particular is one of those kind of breezier days that we will have. But we'll certainly be able to feel the wind almost every day this week, even if it's a little bit of a gentle breeze. And so kind of that time of year, the Monday, Wednesday opportunities might be the only glimpses you really get of the sun to speak of this week. And so that's what we want folks to take advantage of. Both today and Wednesday, you'll have a few peaks of that to get the vitamin D that you need. Otherwise, you might have to wait until middle of next week for it to come back underneath all the clouds and rain that we'll have. And I guess the one silver lining to this very gloomy, dreary forecast is with all the clouds, we really won't cool off too much at night. It's still not too far from normal for the lows. You see a lot of them running in the mid-40s, even a few upper 40s headed towards the weekend, but there's not a lot of temperature variance there either. We're only going back and forth about 4 to 5 degrees for highs and lows. And so it's going to be pretty steady how it feels outside once we get to the weekend. And then it's really, I think, even beyond the 10-day here. We see the very next Wednesday getting back to the mid-50s. There's a chance we break this pattern down and maybe get to near 60 by the end of next week.
All right.
But we're probably going to have to wait till then. So it's going to be almost 2 weeks here where we've got highs in the 50s that we've got to settle with. And there's not anything we can do about it, of course. We just got to kind of sort of get into that October mode here and accept what's going on. Because we know we're headed towards cooler air. Average high today is 64. By the end of this forecast, it's going to be close to 60. So it's going to keep moving pretty quickly here. And so that's kind of the direction that we're headed now. By the time we get out towards the very end of the month of October, signs are starting to bring us back to normal. But again, normals by then are in the 50s. So if we spend all this stretch in the 50s, below average, and then go back to average, well, average is in the 50s by the time we get to that.
That is
so
true.
that's sort of where we're at. We're going to have to go above normal to get back into the 60s by the end of next week. I think we might do it, but there's still a lot to be said for where we're going to go. And a lot can change in the pattern. This could flip on its head, and who knows, 2 weeks we could be back near 70 or we could just stay in the 50s. There's a lot that can happen here in mid-Michigan this time of year, and so we'll, of course, have you covered and keep track of it throughout that next time frame here.
Perfect. Well, Justin, I'm going to hold on the 10-day forecast for a second because like I was mentioning, I think to Nicole earlier, I haven't gone to an apple orchard yet. And so, or cider mills, anything like that to get, the donut, cider, the pumpkin, go on a hayride, all of the fun fall activities.
Yeah.
I was going to go this weekend, got busy, and it was, a little cool, the chances for rain, and I'm seeing next weekend not looking great either. So, obviously, I know throughout this week, midweek, Wednesday would be good. But do you think, over the course of the weekend, there might be some dry spots for people to go?
I do think so. I think, so this, despite seeing the 4 days, so that's a great clarifying question there. All of the rain Thursday through Sunday, that's not like it rains nonstop the whole time. That's just there will be showers around the area. So a couple things you can do. You can either watch us on air, get our forecast online, or you can go to the First Alert Weather app as well, which is another good way to keep up to date with everything. That's going to help you not only plan your trips to the apple orchard, cider mill, anything like that, but it's also going to allow you to just keep an eye on how much longer exactly this kind of dreary fall weather pattern is going to last, because I think we are going to have some good days, and you can get that information if you're not watching us on air, if you're not getting your forecast online. First Alert Weather app's a great place to do it because you've got the hour-by-hours, radar, video forecasts, everything, and you download it for free in the App Store and on Google Play. It's absolutely free. All you do is search WILX Weather, and that'll get you right there. And before much longer, we're probably, not soon, I hope not soon,
No.
we're going to be swapping out that little thunderstorm icon, more than likely for a different one that has a different type of precipitation, which again we're not really going to talk about right now because I don't think it's going to work in anytime soon. Even though the weather's cool and dreary, it's all going to be rain, so there's not anything to worry about at this point unless you're planning on going way north, where of course you always have a better chance to see some of the powder fly.
I know. I was going to say, that's why I pulled up my calendar. I don't know if you saw me on my phone over here.
For sure.
3 more weeks, a little over that, until Halloween. So that's why I was like, okay, when do we need to get these pumpkins?
Yeah, and there are a few opportunities there. As I mentioned, the rain's coming in. They're not going to rain the whole time. I do think that by Sunday, it looks like the system will break down. Sunday afternoon, even though highs are only in the low 50s, probably the best window to be dry this weekend. Okay. I don't want to steer anyone away from those pumpkin patches, cider mills, though, because we're going to have some opportunities, and this is their time to do some business, and it's our time to have fun at those businesses. So hopefully you're able to go enjoy it at those places. Keep an eye on the forecast. We could have a few dry periods crop up here over the weekend too, and so be sure to check back in the coming days. Maybe the weekend starts looking a little better for us, and hopefully it does. Hopefully I can start throwing that in the forecast instead of all the rain that I've gotten there right now. Well,
like you said, First Alert Weather app, great tool to have. Get it on your phone, and make sure you do the follow me feature, or at least set the location to, say, if you're going to Uncle John's, you set it to St. John's instead of maybe Lansing or Jackson, so that way you know when you go there, you know what to expect in terms of showers, if there's any clouds, sun, anything like that.
Because it can be different. Like we were just talking about, tomorrow the better opportunity for rain is going to be near and north of I-96. So if you're in Lansing or St. John's, you might catch a couple showers. But if you're in Jackson or Hillsdale or Marshall, you might not see rain tomorrow. And so even small differences like that, you have your location set, that can help you out, especially wherever you need to go.
That's why, again, I'm going to keep saying it, First Alert Weather app, great tool to have, because our meteorologists don't just cover one area. They cover multiple areas, multiple counties.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Everyone in the area, yeah. And we're always trying to make sure that every single area has got that accurate, up-to-date forecast. And we work very hard on that, so we accept all sorts of feedback for it. Please be kind, but we accept all sorts of feedback. We want to make it the best product, not only in mid-Michigan, but in the whole state of Michigan. We stand by that very strongly, are working very hard always to make that the best it can be.
Yeah, and again, First Alert Weather app, you can go on WILX.com. I'm pointing because I have it pulled up over here. You don't see that, though.
Sure.
And then also radio and on air, of course, broadcast. So there are many different forms where meteorologists share all of their knowledge in the forecast.
Yeah, you can get it almost anywhere. We'd love to have you,
you can't miss
take
out.
advantage. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Well, speaking of on air, here's what you can expect coming up on First at 4 and our 90 minutes of news today. Starting with Mid-Michigan Matters during First at 4, we are talking about The overdose prevention grant that the Barry Eaton County is getting or got from the CDC. So it's a 5-year grant and $1 million per year. So we'll touch more on that during Mid-Michigan Matters today. Coming up at News 10 at 5, the Michigan Alliance for Student Opportunity is holding a roundtable discussion on the state of Michigan's education workforce. And our very own Justin Kent will have more on that coming up on News 10 at 5. On News 10 at 5:30, gas prices in mid-Michigan are down slightly. Hey, well, that's some good news. So we take a look at the current prices around mid-Michigan. Coming up on News 10 at 6, Tania Jordan speaks with mid-Michiganders with local ties to the Israel-Hamas conflict. So if you haven't heard about that, we've been talking about it here on News 10. We even touched on it News 10 today at 11. We'll have more coming up on First at 4. And so if you haven't heard about it, you definitely will. And there's a strong impact happening across mid-Michigan. Even though it's national news, it still has local ties.
Of course. Yep.
Yeah. Well, we have more reporters out in the field. We want to share what they have coming up today. So give me just a second. We'll send it to them.
As UAW workers enter their third week of strikes, President Shawn Fain has been very intentional about taking negotiations to social media. I'm Deanna Giles, and I'll share how social media is influencing those negotiations and how it may provide a helping hand. I'll have that story on News 10 at 5:30. Mars.
Thanks, Deanna. A very cold day here in Lansing, but people are still stepping out to this speedway to buy Powerball tickets where that prize is $1.55 billion. I got resident reactions because there's a new legislation that's been introduced that'll allow Michiganders to remain anonymous if they win prizes as big as Powerball. We'll have more on that in our 90 minutes of news.
Mars looks like he's loving the mid-Michigan fall weather out there. All bundled up, ready to go.
Yes, he looks like he's like chilly. He's like, I'm freezing.
It's not warm outside, I can tell you that. Oh,
No.
Hello, Chris. Thanks for watching us, by the way. We appreciate you tuning in today.
Thank you. Hi, Chris from East Lansing. Yeah, if you guys ever want to comment, you can do that. We have a little link on our website. We have an article actually up there. And if you pull up the one today, I got it over here too. Cool temperatures to start off Monday and a preview of what we're working on. So for those who do watch, you know that you can find the live chat option off of our website. But thank you, Chris, for saying hello. Hope you're having a great day and staying warm as much as you can.
You're going to have to stay warm for the next 10 days at least. That's what everyone's doing. Furnaces are going to get going. If you've been holding out to this point, good luck these next 10 days. I'll give you a lot of props if you can keep it up without.
Did you turn the heat on yet?
I did just the other night. Yeah, it got down to the 30s, got a little cool. We had some frost on the back deck. My wife and I just bought a house over in Lansing, so we're very excited about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we did turn it on, yes.
Good. All right, and you just mowed the lawn too, so getting that out of the way.
Yeah, a lot of clippings, yeah. we were ready to get that done, taken care of too.
I'm sure you were. Well, thanks for watching News 10 Plus, and have a great rest of your Monday.
See ya.